Perfect. Ah, adorable. Love it. Perfect. 1, 2. Oh, cute. Adorable.
I am pretty excited and a little nervous, but really excited. The idea that this day has come, that it's finally here, and that I'm here to see it, makes me very happy, very proud, very nostalgic. Yeah, the theater, my husband started it, and it's a nonprofit, and it's got 3 beautiful screens, and all of them are going to be filled up tonight with people waiting, to come and see this movie. And it's like, it's time for us to dress up and have a party and have a wonderful time again in Key West and at the Tropic. And we hope people will start to come back to the Tropic and enjoy, it's like, oh, I forgot what a great place it is. I forgot all the fun that we've had here over the years, and that's so important, I think, for movie theaters all over the country.
When I first read the book, I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is the experience. This is what we all go through. I was so excited when I got the opportunity to bring Margaret to life, because it's just something that we can all feel connected to, no matter like who you are in this world. But it's just something, it's the experience that all brings us together. She's growing up, she's experiencing a lot of changes, and she moves, and it's really jarring for her, and she's figuring out how to be with these new friends and with her family and religion, and she's figuring all that out while she's growing up, and it's just a really important journey about finding yourself and just being who you are.
1, 2, 3. Love that color on you.
Oh my gosh, it feels like the perfect place to kick off this movie that's been in the making for 50 years, or everyone was hoping it would be made one day and that Judy would give her blessing. So it seems really perfect that it's here where she lives, and we're going to go screen it at her theater, and we're going to be in her bookstore tomorrow, which I've heard so much about, and just didn't think I'd actually get the chance to come here, so to come with the movie is great. I play Margaret's mother, kind of a free spirit artist type, and recently moved Margaret from her beloved New York to New Jersey, and we're trying to make a new life there, and I've quit my job to be a full-time mom and learn to cook and all this sort of stuff, and so we're kind of both in an identity crisis, I guess, having parallel lives. I love that about this movie too, that Kathy Bates' character, who plays Margaret's grandmother, is also going through her own identity crisis and figuring out who she is now without her family nearby, and so I think it crosses a lot of generations that way. I hope everyone just has a really good time at the movies. I feel like that's something that we don't get enough of anymore. I feel like coming out of the pandemic and all the isolation, and especially for young people, I think this could help them feel not alone so much, and all those rites of passage they had to go through alone over the past couple years. We get to kind of come together in the theater together and laugh about the intensity of growing up and how funny it can be at the same time. So I think it's a really well-rounded movie. I just hope everybody has a good time and maybe sheds a tear or two. I mean, I did, but I did too.
Everyone straight at me first. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. Straight at me. Here we go. One more. This way. 1, 2, 3.
So excited. It's so surreal to be here, and it just feels like, we feel transported. Like the minute we stepped off the plane. Yeah. This is the second time I've ever been here, and the first time was to come and pitch Judy Blume making a movie of her book, and now we're here showing it. So it's wild. It's really, really neat. You know, honestly, I really just poured my heart out to her. I really just told her how much her books meant to me and just, you know, what a North Star she was for me when I was making The Edge of 17. And that if there was any author I could adapt, it would be her. And so, yeah, I think it was just like a passionate profession of love, really. Yes, yeah. Well, first of all, Abby is, she's just incredible. I mean, really, I think she's going to take the world by storm. She walked through the door and we just knew instantly that is Margaret. I just think she has such a beautiful relatability, and you just love her instantly and root for her. And so I'm thrilled. And Rachel McAdams is her performance is so moving and true and funny. And Kathy Bates is hysterical. I think maybe the funniest she's been in years. So incredible.
I just want to see if what resonated with me, in the book pops on the big screen. And I recently just reread it, just to have it fresh in my mind. And my oldest daughter, she's 14, she's read it a couple of times. So I'm just hoping that that magic that popped on the pages of that book pops on the big screen as well. Oh, when I was young, my mom, she's an English teacher. And so, I grew up on the Book It program. And my mom gave me a great piece of advice. She would always tell me to read things that don't pertain to me. So when I would go in the library and, I would see these stories about, these young white men, whether it was Fudge, or these young white women, whether it was, Margaret, that's what I started picking up and reading, because that seemed like it was the total opposite of the life that I was living. And, with the Book It program, you got to read 4 books to get a free pizza. So, luckily, Ms. Blume had a big catalog. So I just ran through all her books, her and Beverly Clearly. I used to just run through those when I was younger, because I used to like pizza. Yeah. And I just gravitated towards the storytelling. That's what it is with Judy Blume, or whether it's a Jay-Z or Ghostface, whoever it is, Biggie Smalls, any of these great storytellers is what we gravitate towards. It doesn't matter, what their gender is or what their race is. If they're telling a great story, they'll capture the people. And that's what Judy Blume's work did for me when I was young.
I love Jim's style. Here we go.
I think Kelly wrote Judy a letter, to which Judy responded. We went immediately to Key West to talk to her, and we were very excited, and so much so that it was almost awkward for a second. And then George, her husband, said, "We're doing this, aren't we?" And then there was a group hug, and that was 4.5 years ago. Yeah, the book, Kelly had read, all the women had read. I read as we went into this, but the book was amplified us by Judy's presence throughout, and just serving what she did. Every step of the way, and that made it scary, because you just wanted to write by her.
And one horizontal.
Oh my gosh.
How many girls did we audition for Margaret?
Hundreds at least. I mean, and then Abby literally walked in and it was like, okay, there's our Margaret. I mean, and that was the biggest, scariest part of it, because if we didn't have the right Margaret, you don't have a movie, period. And then Rachel was it was natural. I mean, she was exactly what we were looking for. And we did that very quickly, actually.
Very quickly. She was game and a fan.
And loved the book, yeah. Well, I think Kathy was our first, hope that she would do it. Yeah. And then that was the definite
that was
get.
the get.
And we were so excited when we got her. And then, with Benny, we were just kind of thinking of who would be a great dad. And then I think we saw a movie, something, and we're like, oh, there he is, And then he was so cool and just great to come and do it.
I think you said it exactly right. It's so familiar that it's seminal. In my life, no one was talking about it. Sex ed wasn't talking about it. No one was talking about it. And suddenly you had a friend in Pages that was telling you all the secrets.
Right.
And I'll never forget that, and I'll never forget the production that we did where everyone came to it as a fan. And I don't know how often that happens. It was just a group of fans making this film.
Yeah.
And that was everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we would screen the movie, and you go in the bathroom afterwards, and women are crying, and women are talking about their first experiences, and it was such a great thing to start that conversation, and I just love that this movie can do that. I mean, I just want, especially women, but men too, just to, having your period, having puberty, going through this, it's just normal. It's your body, it's a great thing, it's how you grow and and even her religious experience through this, how you find yourself, and that's an amazing journey.
I think it's still an embarrassing thing to buy Tampax and pads for the first time. I think it's still and I hope that the takeaway is you can proudly check out with your Tampax and pads.
Even if a guy is checking you out.
Even if it's a guy, exactly.